Hey everybody, it's Emily with MJ Cosmetics, and in today's video I'm going to show you what's in my makeup bag. I have a lot of clients and friends who want to know what it is that I use on a daily basis, so I wanted to show you all of my daily essentials. So first of all, I want you to know I didn't pack my makeup bag just for today. This really is the stuff that I use every single day. So first I want to show you the bag that I have adopted, and this is such a great bag. This is my Younique makeup bag. And the reason that I love the bag is, number one, when you flip it up, let me get up a little bit taller. Here, let me change my camera view for you guys a little bit. When you get up here, you can see, look at all that stuff in there, but everything is kept really nice and neat and organized. I do not like the big, huge makeup bags that are just like these huge caverns and these dark holes where I have to rummage and like move everything around to find my stuff. So in the top, it has all of these great little compartments, and in here I keep my brow products and my mascaras, some of my brushes, and then the base of the bag actually holds everything nice and neat. So I'm gonna start at the very beginning, so I'll kind of walk you through what my daily makeup routine is. Let's start with my primer, because I prime everything. If you guys have watched any of my videos, you will know. But my favorite primer is this Stila One Step. So I showed you guys this in the other video when I was demonstrating how to correct and conceal redness in the skin. This is a really great primer because no matter what it is that you are trying to correct in terms of your skin tone, it's going to do this for you. It does a really great job of just evening out your skin tone. It's moisturizing because all of the color correctors are suspended in a nice moisturizing serum. So this is my go-to primer. From there, I use a facial oil. This isn't really a facial oil. It's actually an under eye serum, but I use it all over my face. This is the Younique Uplift Eye Serum. In fact, last night, I put it all around my mouth and on my lips because I'm getting these really little tiny hairline lines around my mouth, which I hate because I'm way too young to be getting those. So I put this on my skin after my primer because it's super moisturizing, and then it just kind of helps to give a lifted appearance in my skin. Then I use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit. I also showed you guys how to use some of these colors in the video about how to correct under eye darkness. So every day I use 5 out of the 6 colors. So it's really a great value to have in your kit. I believe it's only about $45. So I use this salmon on my under eye circles. And then after I put my foundation on, I mix these 2 colors together to put on top. I use it as a concealer and as a highlighter. And then I mix these 2 colors to contour my face. This is something that I do every day. I will do a separate video just on contouring because once you get the hang of it, it really doesn't take that much time. I know a lot of people will say, oh my gosh, you must spend so much time putting your makeup on, but I really don't. Most days I don't actually put eyeshadow on. I just do my face and my brows, but contouring is something that I do each and every day. So if you want to see a video on daily contouring, just drop a comment and I will do that for you. For my foundation, my daily foundation is the Younique Mineral Touch Liquid Foundation. Here's why. I have about 15 minutes to get my face ready in the morning before I have to leave the house to take my oldest to school. I do not like leaving the house without makeup on. I want to feel good when I leave the house. I want to look put together. I want to look rested. And this foundation takes literally about 30 seconds to apply. It gives a wonderful medium to full coverage. So I can look flawless and rested when I leave the house without spending a bunch of time, you know, putting makeup on a sponge, blending it all out, all of that stuff. It's super, super fast. What I use to apply it with is this handy little kabuki brush. I believe I picked this up at Morphe years and years ago. So I use 2 different colors so that it is an exact match to my skin. So I use the colors Velour and Taffeta, and I use equal amounts of both. So you literally I put like 3 drops of each color on my brush, buff it into my skin, and I'm done. It leaves a beautiful matte finish, and it covers everything that I need it to. So it really is a great daily wear foundation. Moving on, I have this concealer as well. Now, for a while, I was using one of the concealers by Tarte, and I loved it because it was very rich, very thick, had almost kind of a heavy whipped cream texture, so it covered everything. It blended beautifully, and then when I was turned on to Younique, I discovered the Mineral Touch Skin Perfecting Concealer. Now, when I put these side by side with the Tarte concealer, the consistency is exactly the same. So I decided to switch to Younique because, number one, I really believe in supporting local small business and putting money back into the pockets of people that I actually know. So I thought, why not buy this? It's just as great. So this is one of my concealers that I use pretty much every day, and my clients love it too. Let's see, I'm just going to go here. Oh, I have quite a few things, but we'll get through them all. This is called Dandelion. It's Shy Beam by Benefit. This is actually a matte highlighter, kind of like Moonbeam, except it's matte instead of a high shine. Instead of a highlighter though, I really actually just use it right here in the corner of my eye after I conceal, because it really helps to lighten and brighten my under eye area. When I'm wanting to do a little bit more contouring, I will go ahead and put it down the bridge of my nose, on the bow of my lip, a little bit on my forehead, and then sometimes I use it underneath my eyebrow when I really want to work on and sculpt out my eyebrows. So this is a wonderful product. It is just like the Moonbeam in terms of how it applies. So it has this nice, neat, tiny little brush on the end, so it applies really well. And then I just buff it out and blend it out with my Beauty Blender. Okay, let's see. So blush. I have been using this since spring, and I used it all summer long on all of my clients, and they absolutely loved it. In fact, several of them went back and purchased it. Right now, it's only available on TarteCosmetics.com. I know Ulta no longer carries this color. It doesn't say the color on the bottle, unfortunately, so you'll just have to look for this specific design on the jar. But it's a really beautiful kind of beigey rose color, and it gives such a beautiful shine. So I'll go ahead and put a little bit on the back of my hand so you guys can kind of see. Isn't that gorgeous? So what I use to apply this with is, instead of just kind of blotting it on my cheeks, which displaces my foundation, I use my kabuki brush, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate for you real quickly. And I just put a little bit on the brush, and then instead of swirling, I just very gently pat it on, and it gives the most beautiful color payout, nice, beautiful, natural flush, and a little bit of shine on your cheeks too. So it's very natural and feminine looking. So that is my daily blusher. Then for my, let's see, I need my powder. I know it's in here somewhere. I'm going to have to do a little digging. Okay, so for my setting powder, I use the Motives Luminous Loose Powder. The wonderful thing about this is it's colorless, because in my opinion, my professional and my personal opinion, you want to use a loose colorless powder to set your makeup with. Any liquid or any emollient needs to be set with a powder. What this does is it prevents your makeup from settling into those fine lines and creases, and it sets your makeup all day. So I work out usually around 9 o'clock. Sometimes I have to wait till the afternoon, but I can have my makeup on, I can work out, I can be sweating, my makeup doesn't come off. I don't take my makeup off until I go to bed at night. And by the time I go to bed, it looks just as good as it did in the morning. So this is a really, really great powder. You can go to Motives Cosmetics /MJ Cosmetics, and you can purchase this online. Motives is a wonderful, wonderful all-around product. Okay, so in terms of pressed powders, I keep this in my makeup bag, and then it's transferred to my handbag for shine control during the day. So this is the Photo Finished Pressed Powder by Motives. This is in the color Neutral. This is just a great overall pressed powder. Pressed powder is not pressed powder. I don't want to look like I'm having to touch up throughout the day. Some powders tend to be a little bit heavy, and you'll start to get a little bit cakey and crepey looking throughout the day if you put on a real heavy powder. You will not have that when you use this powder. So this is a really great overall pressed powder that you can use for shine control throughout your day. Oh, I almost forgot. So another color corrector, and I know you guys saw this in the last video too, is my Stila Correct and Perfect Compact. I'm really loving this, actually. I haven't had it for too long, but the great thing about this, again, are all of the different colors that you can use to correct discoloration. So like today, for instance, I use the green on my cheeks, and then I use this really light peach color right around here to just get rid of the shadows, because as we get older, this area becomes a little bit more pronounced. So that's a really great product to use for that. Let's see, what do we have? Okay, let's move on to a different blush and my favorite bronzer. So I have started using the Bare Minerals. I actually started using this product about, I'm trying to think. It was shortly after I had my youngest, so I guess it would have been about 4 years ago that I started using this. This is the Bare Minerals in Faux Tan. I normally don't like using a lot of loose products just because I'm always afraid of spillage happening in my bag when I travel, but this is what I have found to be the most natural in terms of color for a bronzer that I have ever used. It has just the slightest amount of shimmer, but it gives your skin a really beautiful glow and a very natural warmth to your skin. So again, I use it when I am done contouring with my cream, because what do? We always set our cream with a powder. So that's why I keep my bronzer handy, and I still use that. Another great blush to use, MAC will always be one of my favorites and hold a very special place in my heart, because that's how I learned to do pretty much everything I know how to do now when I was a pro artist for them. And so I have tons and tons of MAC products, and their blushes will always be my number one. This is a matte formula. I really prefer using matte formulas unless I'm using a cream specifically for the purpose of just getting a little sheen on my skin. This is in the color Gingerly. I picked this up, I guess this was last spring as well, because I wanted a color that looked good on all skin tones, and this really fit the bill. So this is a really beautiful matte blush by MAC. Okay, so let's move on to eyes. So we'll start at the very beginning. My favorite eyeshadow primer is Urban Decay. This is in the color Eden, and it's a very neutral color. I love it, however, because it covers up all discoloration on the lid, because I'm really fair. In the morning I wake up and my lid is always kind of red. It's got a little bit of blue to it, and this covers really, really well, besides giving a really great platform for your eyeshadow. So you can see it's this nice kind of ochre color. So again, it covers really well. It's got a really great pigment density to it, and your eyeshadow will look fresh all day long. It will not crease. The pigment will not loosen. You will not have any fallout. It's just, it is the best eyeshadow primer I've ever used. So this is my number one. Moving on to eyeshadow, I carry two palettes with me wherever I go, and they are my Younique Moodstruck Addiction palettes. This is palette number one. And I take such good care of my things. I still have the plastic on the mirror. I love this because of the array of colors and finishes that you get. So there's lots of mattes, there are satins, there are shimmers. So pretty much everything that you see in this palette will give you any look that you want. I usually use these first four on a daily basis. Then when I want to create a smoky eye, I go a little bit darker. So that's the first palette that I have. The second palette is one of their newer palettes. This is number 4. And I love these colors on the end. When I first opened it, I was with my girlfriend and we were eating at a restaurant and it was really dark. And I thought, oh, that's pretty. We have some gray and blacks. And then I looked at it the next day and realized they're more of kind of a greenish blue, which is so gorgeous, you guys, with a smoky eye. So you have these beautiful neutrals that you can use as your blending colors. And then if you use some of these, for instance, in the corner of your eye, and then I like to use the last two right around the lash line, it creates the most beautiful smoky eye. I love adding a little pop of color with my smoky eye because it just adds a little something extra. Moving on to eyeliners. I use the same eyeliners and have been since I was a pro artist with MAC, and I use the MAC Pro Fluidline. I use two colors. I use Dipdown, which is a dark chocolate brown, and I use Black Track, which is a black. It's super rich, super dark. But these are just so awesome because it's a really dense mousse texture. So it goes on really, really well using your fine angle brush. It takes about 15 seconds to set. So the nice thing about that is if you just want to leave like a nice clean line like I did today, you can. But if you want to do a little bit of blending and blend it out into a smoky eye or use it as a base for your smoky eye, you have enough time to do that. Once it is set, however, it stays. It's waterproof, it's sweat-proof, it does not transfer. This is the absolute best eyeliner out there on the market, hands down. When I do makeup lessons with my clients, they always buy this from me because they are absolutely blown away by how easy it glides across the skin. As you get older, your skin starts to get a little crepey, and so ladies from middle age on up have a really hard time using the pencils because it tends to kind of skip across the skin and it leaves this horrible look that's just about impossible to blend out. So that's what they love so much about these little guys. So if you guys haven't tried it, get on maccosmetics.com and order one. It's the Pro Fluidline. Okay, so moving on to brows, because I know everybody loves brows, so do I. I'm kind of a brow queen. The brows are so incredibly important because they frame your face. I always tell everybody, it's like if you had the most famous painter in the world, pick your favorite, and they had this beautiful painting, but they just slapped an old, ugly metal frame on it, it would not be the piece of work that it is, and it would not be as beautiful or be showcased as beautifully as if they took the time to create a beautiful frame. So the same is true with our brows. I have two different brow products that I use. I kind of go back and forth from day to day because I like to mix things up a little bit. I'm going to start with my go-tos, my personal go-tos that I've used for several years since they first launched, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow products. The first one I use is the Brow Wiz pencil in caramel. I loved these pencils since they first came out because of the tip. So I don't know if you guys can see, there we go. The tip is really, really fine, so it creates a beautiful outline, and then you can feather it through your brows and create the look of tiny little individual hairs, so you get a really natural look. Then to create more of a ombre brow, I use the Dipbrow pomade in about 2 to 3 shades darker than the pencil. For me, that would be Auburn. And then I use my fine angle brush. This is the MAC 263 brush, or I'm sorry, 236 brush. And I use that from about my arch down. So it creates the beautiful fine tip. It darkens the brow and it fills in all of the sparse areas. The pomade is a really great product because it does stay really well. It doesn't transfer, and the pigment is amazing. I have had this for probably 2 years. You guys can see how much is left. That's how little you have to use. So for the money, it is an incredible, incredible bargain, and I highly recommend that you use that product. The second brow product that I have been using since its launch date, I can't remember what month it was sometime this summer, is by Benefit. I'm going to put my little brush down there for a minute. This is called Precisely My Brow Pencil, and you know when you look at it and when you try it that it was mimicked after the Brow Wiz pencil because they are very, very similar product. I have to say, I am a real sucker for packaging. So when I went into my Ulta store and I saw this, I just immediately thought, that is a really cool looking brow pencil. I have to have it. So I picked it up and I do love it. This is in color number 3, which is really great for people with light brown hair or redheads. And I used to be a redhead, but now I'm a dark brown. But it still works for me. It's a really great product. Pigment quality is great, transfer proof, waterproof, all that good stuff. Then I got the cream gel brow color. This is also a really cool little bottle. Check it out. I love this. It's called Cabrow. And the really great thing about this product is you pop the top off and you have your angle brush. So you can bring this in your travel bag if you need to, for some reason, touch up your brows, maybe after the gym, during the day. You have everything you need in your bag. And there's the pomade. The consistency of this is a little bit different than the Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's quite a bit thicker, and it does dry out a little bit faster, so just always make sure that you put the lid on as soon as you're done. Okay, so last but definitely not least, I am going to show you the mascaras that I use. I know you guys are probably going to laugh at me, and that's okay, but I use 3 mascaras every day for my lashes. I have used all of the new trendy mascaras. I've used $58 mascaras, but I keep coming back to these 3, and I'll tell you why. CoverGirl Lashblast Volume Mascara. I started using this since they first came out with it. I think it's been out for about 10 years now, and I've been using it ever since. Just because something is inexpensive and you buy it at the drugstore does not mean that it is not of good quality. I know I was always afraid at first when I bought this to use it professionally on my clients because I thought, oh my gosh, maybe they're going to expect me to use like nothing but Dior Show or MAC or whatever. But let me tell you, as soon as I put it on their lashes, all of those inhibitions that they may have had about me using CoverGirl on them disappeared because it's a great mascara. So it has this really thick brush made of synthetic bristles, and what this does is it will coat each and every individual lash with mascara. It really helps to volumize, and it really helps to lengthen the lashes and build them up. After that dries for about 15 seconds, I use my Motives Blackout mascara. This is also waterproof. I don't use anything but waterproof around my eyes. The brush on this is really wonderful. The bristles, you can tell, are set wider apart than the CoverGirl, which means that it is going to build incredible volume in your lashes because it's going to be depositing quite a bit more product. So those 2 I use on my top lashes. Then for my bottom lashes, I use the Lights Camera Lashes by Tarte. This is a mascara product that's been out for quite a while, and it has a nice mousse-like texture to it, and the brush is quite a bit more dense. So I find it's really, really great for the lower lashes. Plus this does not transfer, so you don't end up with like the raccoon eye by the middle of the day when you get hot. Let's see, I think, oh, and you cannot forget an eyelash curler. Eyelash curlers are so incredibly important, and I'm always still amazed when I have a client that says, oh my gosh, I've never used an eyelash curler. And I think, I'm so happy to introduce this to you because you will not even know what you've been missing all of these years. This is my favorite eyelash curler. I've used several. This is by Shiseido, and this was actually designed and created for Shiseido by Kevin Aquan years and years ago. Long before his death, he actually worked with them and helped to co-create several products for their line. The thing that makes this different is the angle of the curler. It has a real defined angle to it, and the more angled the curler is, the higher up it's going to curl your lashes. So this is like the Mercedes-Benz of eyelash curlers, and anymore I don't use anything but this. So that is everything that I use pretty much on a daily basis, give or take a few items. If you have any questions at all about the products that you saw, what colors they were, where you might be able to pick them up and purchase them, just leave a comment down below and I will give you the link. And if you have any other ideas for videos that you would like to see, just comment below as well, and I will do the best that I can to make those videos for you. So thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.